Welcome to your Color My Cookie birthday kit. Let's take a look at what you have. So we have 6 cookies to decorate plus the palette cookie. We also have 2 packets of sprinkles, 2 paintbrushes, and there's a vial of lemon extract and cups for water and for the sprinkles. So the first thing that you should do, if you have not already, is wash your hands. So I'll pause the video here so that you can do that, and we'll see you in just a second. All right. From your home, you'll need a paper towel and a set of scissors. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the gloves that are included in the kit, and we can begin. So I'm going to empty the packets of sprinkles into cups so we can use them. Two. Okay. There we go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sprinkles on my banner cookies. So what I'm going to do first is brush a little bit of water onto the pennants from the banner, and I'm going to then put the 2 different sprinkle mixes inside these areas. So we're going to paint a little water in all of these. We want to do this part first because the sprinkles will adhere to any wet surface on the cookie. And so if you've painted the background or the letters and you miss and get some sprinkles on other parts of the cookie, they will stick there. But if you haven't done that yet, they will just roll right off, and then you can keep going. So what I'm going to do is tilt the cookie over the container, and I'm going to carefully place my sprinkles on here. And if I get any rogue ones on here, I'm just going to quickly use the back of the paintbrush to get them off. And I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to do all of one kind of sprinkle first. I'm going to alternate the 2 different mixes I have. Okay. Get the excess off there. So I've got all of that type, and now I'm going to go with the second. Look at these on here. Tilt, get all of the excess off. Okay. All right. A few more. We'll be all set. Okay, so I've got all the sprinkles on here. So now you can see I've got my pennants covered in sprinkles. And now we're ready to paint. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the letters. This set has jewel tone palette colors in it, and so we've included some lemon extract for you to mix with the lustery paint in order to create a liquid that you can brush onto the cookie. This particular luster color requires an alcohol-based liquid to turn it into a paint. So we have taken the lemon extract, which is an alcohol-based liquid, and we're going to mix it carefully with the Luster paint dot. The reason this is different than using the water to make this normal paint that we send with all of the kits, because what we're trying to do is make a very thick paste that we can paint onto the cookie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it a little bit wet, and I'm going to try and gather up all of the color from the side into the middle so that we can have a high ratio of the Luster color to liquid. We want to make a thick, brushable paint. If you thin this down too much, if you put too much liquid onto the paint dot, it's okay, because it's alcohol, it will evaporate very rapidly, and so you just need to wait a few seconds for the alcohol to evaporate, and it will turn into a consistency that you can use. So I like the way this is now. I'm testing it on the palette, and I think it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and begin painting my letters. And for this effect, we really want to be very careful not to paint the cookie. You can go back and paint the cookie later if you like, but what we're really trying to do is highlight these letters. And so if we get part of the cookie base, we won't see those very well. So it's really important to take your time to make it look nice and clean. So I'm going to keep going here. And again, I'm just mixing this color around to get more into the brush, a very thick paste. And if it's proving to be a little bit too thick to spread, just barely dip the brush into the lemon extract to get a little bit more off the dot onto the brush. Okay, so get our letters going here. And one thing you can do, so I've got all the tops of the letters painted here, but we haven't really gotten the sides. So I'm going to tilt the cookie ever so slightly and try and brush the side of the raised letters. We don't want to get the base of the cookie, but we're trying to create some definition on the letters, and getting the sides really helps to do that. So we want to be careful just to get the side of that raised writing. And you may have to tilt it again to get all sides. So I've got the outside of the C, but now I need to get the inside. So I'm going to go around just very carefully. So I want to try and touch the tip of the brush to the inside side of this letter and not touch the base of the cookie. This is a little bit more advanced of a technique than some of the other Color My Cookie sets that we've got, but it is definitely something that you can do at home. So you can see I've got my E, the top, and now I'm kind of going back. You can see it's kind of skinny here. It looks kind of skinny because I've got to get the sides. So I'm trying to go back there, get the sides. And just barely touch it. These brushes that we include are very stiff, so they really are good for getting the side of these letters. And you can see here I nicked the base of the cookie, and it really kind of makes it destroy the shape of the letter. So you want to try as best you can not to do that. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here and allow you to finish coloring these letters, and we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so here I've got my finished cookie where I've got the letters painted. You can see that, my pink luster, and then my sprinkle banner. And we're going to move on to our balloon cookie. So again, I'm going to do some sprinkles on here. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to use water, and then I'm going to paint, I think I'm going to do the back balloon in sprinkles. So I'm just going to take the water and paint it onto the area that I want my sprinkles to go. Get it all on there. And then, once I've got it all painted, we're going to add our sprinkles. So I think I'm going to go with the pink and white sprinkles. So I'm going to, again, what I like to do is I tilt the cookie over the little cup, and I then pour this, or just use my fingers to pour the sprinkles on, and then the excess just fall into the cup. And if you're thinking you want to get a few more on there, take the wet brush and just add a little bit more water to the area that needs it, and then add the sprinkles. Okay. I've got my sprinkle balloon all done. Now we can go ahead and paint. So we'll move these out of the way. And now I'm going to go with the pink color. So I've got my brush. I'm going to use the water and create the pink paint. I've got a kind of a deeper pink here. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the front balloon pink. Okay, and this one is pink, but you might have a set that is blue. We have two different color palettes for this cookie set. Be very careful. I'm going to try and paint the side of the balloon to get the definition, but I don't want to paint onto the next balloon here. So I'm going to continue here, a little bit more water. And paint the side. Of my balloon. There we go. Again, we want to take some time and try and get the side. Just need some real nice definition on the balloon. And there we go. There's our pink balloon right in front. We're going to do one more. So I've got my lemon extract here, and I'm going to use the gold. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to try to create a thicker paste out of the gold and the lemon extract. And I'm gathering all of the paint off of the dot into the middle. And kind of test it, see what you have. This is a little thin for me. See that this one, when I did the pink, you can really see the brush strokes, and here you can't really yet. And so that to me means that this is a little bit too thin. So you can wait just a second, and the alcohol will evaporate, allowing you to work with a little bit thicker of a paint. Okay, so we're going to go with this. Paint my last balloon gold. Okay. I'm going to stop the video here and allow you to continue on this step, and we'll see you in just a minute. All right, welcome back. So I have painted the gold balloon, and now I'm going to add the pink bow, which is included in your kit. So what I'm going to do is paint the back of the fondant bow with a little water, and then I'm going to stick it on to the cookie and let it sit there, and it will glue itself down. Just want to add it. And we're just going to let that sit, and it will stick in place. So let's take a look at these together. These adorable birthday cookies. And now we can get to the cake. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint the gold elements. So I'm going to take a little bit of the lemon extract, and I'm going to mix it with the gold. Again, I'm trying to get a thicker paint. That's better. We're going to paint the tips of the candles. So we're trying to get on the top and the sides. Need a little definition in the candles. So I'm just going around the edges. I want to be careful when using these stiff paintbrushes. These are very good for this kind of a task, but they will do something that I'm going to do intentionally here in a minute, which I'll show you, which is fleck. So if you pull the brush away too quickly, it will create little flecks of this paint on the rest of the cake. So we don't want to do that quite yet, but we will do it in a minute on purpose. So I'm going to continue here with my metallic elements, and I'm going to again use a little bit of the lemon extract, and this time I'm going to go back to my pink luster paint, and I'm going to paint the stand. So at this point we've colored a lot of these cookies in the pink. The luster paint that's available is on the side, so I'm going around the edge, trying to gather up all of the color I can. We're going to paint the side here. Okay, I'm getting all of that color off this dot. Really got to reach for it here. So we have to pick it up and really rub the paint off of the side of the dot to get it onto the brush. And paint our stand. And we can move on to the cake. Okay, just a touch more. Now a little bit more the lemon extract. And there we go. Pink luster cake stand. It's hard to see the luster at this point because this is wet. But once this dries, you will see the luster a lot better. Right now it's wet and you can't quite tell, but on the balloon it's drying, you can kind of start to see it a little bit more. Okay, wash off my brush. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the base tier of the cake. I'm going to make a pink, so I'm using this pink dot. I'm actually going to mix the pink and the white. So this is a very dark pink and I want to go for something a little bit lighter. So I'm going to mix pink and the white to lighten it up a little bit. Go on the bottom tier here. The pink paint. I'll make sure to get in all these little nooks and crannies. Make sure you get all of that painted. A nice even coat. All right. Okay, so I've got my pink down. Now, for my last tier, I'm going to show you a different technique. So I'm going to actually switch brushes. And again, using the lemon extract, I'm going to create a very thick gold paint. And this is something you may want to test on your paper towel or the palette cookie before you do it on the cookie you're actually trying to color. And what we're going to do is we're going to just brush lightly the paintbrush against a gloved finger. And it's going to create little flecks like this. So this is just like a kind of fun little decorating technique. The viscosity of this vodka or the alcohol mixed with luster dust, it creates a different liquid than the normal paint, and it allows you to do this kind of fun speckled technique. So we're going to make this paint. Again, if you make it too thin, you can just wait a second for the alcohol to evaporate and it will thicken up. So we're going to go over here again with a gloved finger. I'm just going to brush very lightly this against my finger, and it's going to fleck off and it'll create this kind of fun speckled look on my last tier. So you could paint this and then do this. I wanted to show you against a white background what would happen, but you can go ahead and do this again, paint it first and then do this. So there we have it. I'm going to quickly go ahead and just wipe it off. I got some extra dots on here, and you can take this with a little bit of liquid. Just kind of brush it off, and it will dry. And you can take the paper towel that you've got and just kind of wipe it clean. And that will get rid of all of the excess that you've got on any of the sides. All right, so here we are. One pink birthday set with a cake, a banner, and some balloons. From everyone at Color My Cookie, we wish you a happy birthday. Thank you so much. And remember, the best thing about Color My Cookie is eating it.